Hi, this is Russ Ballard, and you're listening to the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast.
Well, hello everybody again, and welcome to the Voices of Russ Ballard with myself, Ian.
And me, Sven. Hello.
And welcome back to part 2 of Leo Sayer. And thanks to everybody who we've been knocked out by the reaction to Leo, and everybody saying, "My God, I'm hooked. I can't wait for part 2." Both of us have had amazing feedback. Not about us, by the way, about Leo, because Leo was just so entertaining, honest.
Oh, by the way, the people could give us some feedback. Hello, folks out there. So if you like what Ian and myself are doing here with the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast, please let us know. It's always good to get some feedback. And to all of you who, for whatever reason, haven't listened to part 1 of our fascinating conversation with Leo Sayer, please do listen to the podcast. It's amazing.
It is. And he snapped his fingers and we just came walking, and everybody's come walking.
Ian, any idea what we can expect from part 2?
Part 2, arguably, and again, we'd love to hear what you think out there. We think part 2 is even better. However, it's different. Part 2, as you're going to hear in a moment or two, is about his stories. Leo's got so many stories, and we couldn't capture them all, but we've got 2 cracking stories of which he tells superbly and very clearly. So that's the highlight for me. Some real exclusives for us, and also a little bit about what is he doing now? His current career, his last couple of albums, how he makes them sound fresh, how he works on them himself. But I'm not going to say too much more because you need to listen to part 2.
Stop. Can somebody stop this, Ian? Otherwise, he will tell you some stories of airplanes and boxers. And
I'm excited. I'm sorry.
Me too. So, what do you think, Ian? Shall we press the button?
We'll press the button and just talk to Leo. And Leo's going to start talking about probably the focal point of his career. And he really was, at that point, a TV personality.
Wow.
When I need you, I just close my eyes and I'm with you.
Hi, I'm Leo Sayer, and you're listening to the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast.
It's only a heartbeat.
It's about this time that you appeared on the Muppet Show with a duet from with Miss Piggy. You had your own BBC TV series. You went on Cannon and Ball and pretended to be Bobby when the braces broke famously. And you really played up to that, by the way. I watched that the other day. That was fantastic. The list goes on and on. Fun times. And perhaps, again, probably at your peak for being in demand on the show on the showbiz side, if you like, as a personality.
I was doing a lot of TV. I was doing my own TV series. I had my own TV series, 3 of them, and with the BBC, which was great fun. I don't know if it really helped my career. I mean, one of the funny thing was on the TV series, we do the last 15 minutes live with the band. And after doing it live with the band and being on BBC 2 at 8 o'clock every Monday night, for 6 weeks, nobody came to the concert. It was hilarious because they all see you on the TV for free. So why would they buy tickets?
Oh, shit.
That was the mentality. Isn't that weird?
My God.
Don't get that.
I know.
Very strange.
But it was a lovely experience. I mean, I had great guests. Linda Ronstadt, Randy Newman, Tony Orlando, amazing guests. Incredible. Roger, Robert Palmer, Phil Collins. They all came on the show.
The who's who. Who's who, for goodness sake.
It was just lovely. It was a great experience to be mixing it with those guys. So so that was lovely, and I don't regret it. I mean, I can't really regret anything now. Coming to 74 and doing this for 50 years, there are some peaks and troughs in the career, of course. There always will be. There was a time in the 90s, when I couldn't get arrested, but at the same time, you know, it always came back. That's what's lovely, and it's coming back now.
Yeah, it's lovely to hear. I think
Well,
Sven's got a question about
Yes.
something else you did as a guest vocal, Sven.
Well, yeah. I mean, I never heard the Toto story before, and that was amazing.
Can't believe that.
Perhaps you find
that's our
perhaps
exclusive.
find the demo record and just send it over. Hold the line.
I don't know if it exists. I think they might have. Bobby Kimball probably got mad and said, "Wipe him off and put me on." You know,
Exactly.
So they probably probably don't. And Bobby's lovely, you know. So I mean,
we
I
need
would
to
have
find
never.
this. We need to find this.
Yeah. It's somewhere there. Lukather's probably got it somewhere.
Yeah.
Or Dave Page.
We need to ask him. We need to ask him. But there was another guest appearance. You did a big guest appearance on Eric Wolfson's Frojana.
Yeah, with Alan Parsons.
I am
yeah.
a mirror. I am a mirror.
Yeah.
What a great track.
I am a mirror.
I am a mirror, I am a mirror. Looking at me, you see yourself. I am a mirror, I am a mirror. Every face is someone else. Look at me smile and you're the clown. And if I dance, you turn around. Look in my eyes and see your tears until the music disappears.
Brilliant track.
Yeah, that came about by hanging around, I suppose, Abbey Road and knowing a lot of people there. One of them was Alan Parsons, and I met Eric, and Eric had this program, this project. What am I saying? Called Freudiana, and it was all about, you know, the writings and the life of Freud, the great psychiatrist, and putting this to music. And I've got a mutual friend, Chris Thompson, who sang with, you know, Brotherhood of Breath and lives now in Belgium. Great pal. We've sung many times together. He's also part of our age and our group, you know. Amazing singer.
The SAS.
Great talent.
The SAS.
Yeah,
and Chris Thompson. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. And not a lot of people know that the hit by John Farnham, "You're the Voice," is actually written by Chris Thompson.
Yeah,
But the manager of John Farnham came in and said, "Okay, we're going to buy that song for John." So Chris never really gets the credit for it, but that's his song.
Yeah.
You know,
Great song.
he wrote it.
We have
Great song. One of the great songs. And I don't know. With Eric, Eric's a strange bod. He was going through a huge argument with Alan Parsons at the time, and the two of them, we went down to Alan's studio and recorded it, and it was lovely. It was great fun. I mean, I love Alan to death. You know, I mean, God, here's the guy who recorded Dark Side of the Moon. You know, and you're in a studio with him. This is pretty cool. And also did a lot of the Beatles tracks as well, as you do. So it was a great thrill. But I really couldn't get Eric. It was a strange dude. Anyway, we went to Vienna and went to the opening thing and, the premiere, and I sang it live. And it was actually great fun. But it's one of the weirder things that I can't honestly say my heart and soul was totally in that song.
Okay.
It probably turned out all right, but it's the thing you do.
I'm a bit of an Alan Parsons fan, and I came across that as well. So we're going to keep the questions moving, and I'm going
and that's why I said Chris Thompson, because Chris was one of Alan's great singers as well, and he actually persuaded me to do that. What
a voice, Manfred Mann's etc. So, but I'd like you to tell our listeners, who are all over the world, by the way, the Elvis story, because I know you mentioned earlier on about falling off the stage, and obviously I know how that dovetails into the story. So we'd love to hear that from you. And I know you've told it so many times, but it's just amazing. Cool. Would love to hear that from you.
Well, it was 1977, and it was my hottest year in America because I was following one number one with another. When I Need You became the second number one. I think I was on the road. I actually might have just been before that, but I was on the road and filling up big gigs in America. And we went to a place called Alpine Valley in Wisconsin. And it was a new gig. It was a ski run actually, in Wisconsin, right up in the hills there, in the mountains. Mm-hmm. And they hadn't kind of totally finished the gig. And I had to go to do some sort of photo session nearby or a radio show. And I can't remember which, but I didn't make it to sound check. And I always love going to sound check. And it's very important. Taste the joint, find out where you're going to be and check the sound and, feel comfortable. And then you can get on that stage and do anything. So I didn't make the sound check. And I remember going up it was built up really high on struts, right on the ski lift. The audience are way below you. And Melissa Manchester was the opening act. So I went out to check her out. And Melissa used the same microphone as me, so I knew that I could feel a reference if Davey Kirkwood, the monitor engineer, could sort of play me what she was doing. So that's what I did. I listened to that. And I leaned against a curtain. And it was a black curtain. And there was no rail behind it. Oh. And I fell 26 feet I managed to actually fall on my legs in the end. And it was a hell of a crash. And the amazing thing about it, and I have to say, here's a hero. I mean, Davey ended up doing Stevie Wonder's sound, a wonderful Scottish sound guy. Davey jumped down after me and held my legs and my arms because he'd seen these kind of falls happen to guys who rig the lights, and they fall off trusses and, fall off the kind of, the ceilings of huge arena gigs. He'd seen it happen. He knew what to do. So he held my one hand around my legs and the other one around my neck and stopped me from having this reaction where I might have thrown my spine out of my body. Mm-hmm. I got taken to the hospital, and I went to a hospital for about, the next 5 weeks or so, because they were checking to see if I hadn't ruptured my spleen or done something really, really bad. I got as far as Memphis in Tennessee, and we were doing a show in Memphis. And of course, now it had been headline news. So now more people were coming to the show. It had been on the NBC and CBS and ABC News, and it had been in the papers. Singer Leo Sayer falls off stage, miraculously no injuries, and all this story going on. It was in bloody Rolling Stone and everything. And so more people are coming to see the show. And I get to Memphis, And I'm in the dressing room, and something happened in the afternoon, and I just locked up. I went into a ball, and nobody could get me out of it. I couldn't move it was a delayed shock.
Delayed shock?
I was like in a fetal ball, like when people go back to their childhood.
Yeah.
So there was I rolled up in a tiny ball, my arms around my knees, and I couldn't move.
And you couldn't help yourself.
No. And we're just about to go on stage. The place is sold out. It's the massive gig in Memphis, about 18,000 or 20,000 people in the hall waiting for me to go on. And they found a guy in the audience because they said, "Is there a doctor in the house?" Or a therapist, a physio.
Yeah,
that's right. And found a guy who was an amazing guy. He was an ex-Miami Dolphin football player, huge, great tree trunk of a guy, And he came in and he just picked me up and he said, "I know what to do with him." And he put me in the back of his truck and carried me to his gym. The gig was cancelled, of course, or postponed.
Okay.
Yeah. And he said, "Let me look after him for a week." So I went back to his gym in Huntsville, Alabama, just over across the river from Memphis. And so I worked with him and I came out of it. And in about 2 or 3 days, I was normal. And I said, "Well, what are you doing down here?" Because he had all these awards he was a big star football player, He said, "Well, I'm down here working with a client. I can't tell you who it is, but he's a very important guy here in Memphis." So I said, "Oh, come on, tell me." And he said, No, I can't tell you. And then the next morning, he threw the phone at me or proffered the phone to me. And on the other end was his client. And he said, "That's my boss." And I picked up the phone and the voice on the other said, "This is Elvis Aaron Presley, and you make me feel like dancing." No word of a lie. That's the truth.
Well, since my baby left me, well, I found a new place to dwell. Well, it's down at the end of Lonely Street, that heartbreak hotel where I'll be just so lonely, baby. Well, I'm so lonely, I'll be just so lonely, I could die. Although it's always crowded.
And I went, "What?" And Michael over the other side of the room is nodding. "Yeah, it is him." I thought it was somebody else fooling me, but it's Elvis. And, I really love your music, man. And I've been listening to it, and, it's great music. And I really want you to come out to the house and hang with me. And could you, Mike says you've got another week. You're due to be here. So can we, don't tell anybody, but let's hang out together. And, hey, maybe we can make some music and have some fun. And he said, "I could do with your energy, So this is 1977 in the summer. And I'm just over the moon. He was a lovely conversationalist. We had an amazing chat. We talked for, almost an hour. And that night I went to bed feeling absolutely fantastic. I'm going to see Elvis tomorrow. Wow, what's this? And Michael's he's prepped up everything. He's got the van ready and we're going to go to Graceland and great. And Elvis, they told me that nobody else is going to be there. Just Ginger, his girlfriend, Elvis, and me, and Michael. So it's fantastic. My God, I can't tell anybody, but there I am, I'm going to hang out with Elvis, Leo and Elvis. And I'm listening to the radio, and I used to record the radio because I had this great Sony cassette deck that Warner Brothers had given me for getting a Grammy. Mm-hmm. And so I had this amazing, and I used to tape the gospel shows and the country shows on there, country music and everything, which was so great in Memphis. And I've still got the recording. I pressed record right at the moment that they said the singer, Elvis Presley, has been brought to Memphis Baptist Hospital, dead on arrival.
Oh my God.
So Michael burst into the room as I'm doing this and said, "I've got to go. I've got to be with the family." And of course, he had to go, and he said, "Look, just leave the keys, lock up and leave the keys." And he said, "Here's some cash," which he left me, to get yourself to the airport. "Here's the cab firm, go to Huntsville Airport and get a plane to LA. And, hopefully I'll see you sometime, but I've got to go. This is serious." And that was it. Wow. Now, I didn't tell anybody for about 10 years because how could you tell this story to anybody? They'd never fucking believe you, Leo Sayer and Elvis Presley, nah. Wow. until sometime in the 80s, David Foster, very famous producer and musician, who produced Celine Dion, etc., in Chicago, comes over to England and requests a meeting with me. I thought, wow, he wants to produce me. But no, he had a girlfriend, Ginger Aldrin, who was Elvis's last girlfriend. She had just like Andrew Gold, had an incredible fear of flying. So she said, I hate, flying, but I got on a plane because David was coming, because I always wanted to meet Leo Sayer and tell him how excited Elvis was to be meeting him the next day. And this is the night he died. But she said, Elvis went to bed singing, "You Make Me Feel Like Dancing."
And
that was the last time she saw him alive.
Well, that is an incredible story.
And we can
Incredible.
Absolutely understand Elvis. It's a pleasure chatting with you. You're such a lovely guy. Part of being a fabulous.
I feel very humbled by that, and I sometimes don't like telling the story because it feels like you're being flash or something. But it was an amazing encounter. That's all I can tell you.
It's not being flash. It's just factual. It's just what happened.
Yeah,
and people people love to
back
hear
in the
it.
days.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Nobody can believe what nobody. Well, nobody. Not many people might believe the story when hearing for the first time.
I've got a few. I mean, there are a few other instances, but I don't want to gild the lily. But I mean, once, I used to do adverts for British Airways. And so they gave me a card where I could kind of just go to the airport and jump on a flight, which was very handy because I was doing a tax year in Los Angeles out of England. And one day I turn up to the airport and they say, "I'm so sorry, sir, but a gentleman has taken all of first class and we can't put you in there. And there's no room in the back of the plane because all of his entourage are there." I said, and being flash, I just turned around and said, "Well, tell him who I am." And they said, "Well, okay. And so they went up to this gentleman in first class and said, "Mr. Leo Sayer is here and wonders if he can come and join you." And the person had said, "Leo Sayer, yeah, bring him in, man. It's great." So I go into the plane, not knowing what to expect. And there's a bunch of expectant people at the edge of first class, and they're all big and black. And I'm wondering what's going on. And I walk down, and it's Muhammad Ali.
I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier.
Whoa.
And so I sat down, in a chair next to a Muhammad Ali, and we talked the entire flight. And, he'd been training to my song. And he didn't want anybody else in there because he was bruised for some injuries. He'd fought a German fighter, one of his last fights, and he'd lost the fight. And he was pretty injured, had black eye, lots of things. But he was so sweet and gorgeous. And the next week, he said to me, the next week, he said, "I'm training up in Santa Barbara," because you have to train down from flights, because you've got to get back to normal, your body weight and all of this stuff. And you've got to get the adrenaline out of your system. So he said, "Would you come and hang with me for a week?" And I did. And I spent a week with Ali, just me and him, in this Santa Barbara house. And we just had the most amazing week. We talked about racism. We set the world to rights.
I'm really looking forward to the book. I'm really looking forward to the book.
Well, it's all in the book. And I've got to tell you the end part of that story. They do a laureate sports awards run by a guy who just died, actually, Dieter Mateschitz, who was the who was the head of Red Bull. Just died just recently. So Dietrich had put on this award, and they were going to bring the very now injured and suffering from Parkinson's. They made an award in London for Muhammad. And they asked him, and Yolanda, his wife, beautiful lady, they said, "Would you have any requests for how we should do this performance?" They said, "Yeah, just get Leo Sayer." I mean, I can't believe it myself. So I was booked, and I got all the singers, Lennox Lewis and all these amazing Sugar Ray Leonard, and I taught them all to sing. I was the lead choir leader for Happy Birthday because it was his birthday. But then I did the concert to him, and everybody wanted to speak to him, but he pushed them all aside and just concentrated on me. And Yolanda said afterwards, she said, "He really loves you." And it's so moving, just to talk about that now. It's hard to talk about it because it was, and afterwards he gave me a hug. And, this time he could hardly speak, but he hugged me and he said, "I love you, Leo."
Oh, yeah. I love you more than I can say. I love you twice as much tomorrow. Oh, love you more than I can say.
Wow.
And that's something I'll carry to my grave,
Wow.
What a beautiful man. And my hero, because when I was at art school, I used to do pictures of Muhammad Ali boxing, and draw pictures, and he was my hero.
Well, hear these stories. I mean, it's the same.
Anyway, I'll shut up now.
Same with Ian. That gives us goosebumps, really.
Hi, I'm Leo Sayer, and you're listening to the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast.
One of the great things about Russ as a writer, his catalogue of songs is just endless, and the contrast of material is quite incredible. And that's the game that he brought to that album Another Year, because I was still in a very experimental mode at that time, but he pulled those songs together and really made them work in an incredible way. If you listen to a song, I Will Not Stop Fighting for You, and another one, Bedsitter he played piano on those, and oh my God, he just made those songs live. His presence in understanding what I was trying to do and get over in my lyrics.
And the piano intro on the Let It Be track that he did with you as well. I know you speak very highly
exactly.
of that.
It's totally a classic.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she's standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. Let it be. Oh, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, and let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there's still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow. Let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Just let it be. Let it be. Oh, let it be. And there will be an answer. Just let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, then there'll be an answer. Let it be. Though they may be parted, there's a chance that they will see. There will be an answer. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Oh, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be. Let it be. There will be an answer. Just let it be. Let it be. Let it be. There will be an answer. Just let it be.
I mean, that was
Russ
Adam's
can do
idea because it
anything.
was his favourite song. But yeah, he can, because great ears, great pitch, all of those, great melodic and great taste. Russ always knew where to leave space. That's what always impressed me as well. What not to play rather than just what to play. And that's all. It's in all of his work all the way through, right from when he was backing Adam Faith as well.
The thing is,
in those really early days.
he can write and sing any tunes.
Yeah.
you can ask him.
He's a great
Russ,
musician as
can
well.
Can we have a pop song? He will deliver a pop song. Can we have rock, hard rock? Whatever you ask him for, he can do it. He can write these songs.
Yeah.
And it still amazes me. I mean, So You Win Again. Yeah, Ian is right. I would love to hear you singing So You Win Again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Would have been a massive hit for Russ Ballard as a solo musician. But as we all know today,
totally. Yeah.
His life changed. You know, 2 kids were there, and he wanted to see his kids grew up. And
I remember that. Yeah.
This is the most impressive thing I got to learn about Russ Ballard. You know, he could have been he could have been really big in the music industry.
Pushed it even more. Exactly.
As solo musician, but he made a decision.
And the songs he's written for other people, I mean, the songs he wrote for Colin Blunstone are just mind-blowing songs.
Yeah,
great songs, you know.
I don't believe.
Yeah, all of those. I knew
that.
Colin very well, and you know, Russ was a very important part of that. You know.
Anyway, listen, we've got to be mindful that Leo spent a lot of other time with this. So we've got two things to finish off with. One is we really want to talk about Selfie and Northern songs. And I know that's Sven's question, and then we're going to finish up with some fun stuff.
The Selfie album is special. Yeah, that's it. I would say it's
well,
special.
Thank you.
My favorite on the album is Love Light.
Yeah, I wrote that for Donatella, my partner.
Love Light is
literally that's what she is in my life, you know.
Now the days are getting brief and the light is dim, but there's no battle up ahead that we can't win. For love is real and love is true, and I owe it all to you, 'cause you kept that love light glowing, kept that love light glowing, kept that love light glowing in your heart. There were days of despair when it seemed that no one cared, but when people passed by without even a sigh, you just smiled and let it ride. You kept that love light glowing, kept that love light glowing, kept that love light glowing in your heart. Now we know all there is about hanging on, about sharing, about caring, about singing our favorite song. There were times when I could not find a friend, when I thought all my dreams were at an end, but that was just when you came through, and I owe it all to you, 'cause you kept that love light glowing, kept that love light glowing, kept that love light glowing in your heart. Yeah, you kept that love light glowing, kept that love light glowing, kept that love light glowing in your heart. Yeah, you kept that love light glowing in your heart.
I mean, the peculiar thing, I suppose, the individual thing about this is that apart from John Hudson, wonderful engineer who used to run Olympic Studios, did all the Tina Turner songs, recorded What's Love Got to Do With It, recorded all the Bryan Adams classics, you know, that Mutt Lange was also engineering. John mixed all those. He also did the Live Aid song, Mark Knopfler, Dire Straits' first album, Tears for Fears, God, you name it, Paul McCartney, Stevie Wonder. John is a genius, and used to run Olympic Studios. That all went pear-shaped when they decided, he and his Australian wife, to come down to Australia, which was my joy because I moved down to Australia in 2005. John had done More Than I Can Say, and many of my singles, many of my records, mixed them. Wonderful mix engineer. And when he came down, he phoned me straight away and said, Leo, I've just arrived in Australia. I went, what? And I, at that moment, really needed an engineer because I was embarking on something that you could call very brave. I was actually starting to make records completely by myself. I didn't actually, and I'm not really a trained musician or I don't think I'm a great musician. I've just got a good ear, and I managed to find my way around a keyboard. So basically, these records, there are no other musicians on there. It's just samples, manipulation of samples, finding little guitar parts that mesh and fit. And basically, every single song that I've recorded on Selfie and on Northern Songs, even though they're Beatles songs, I've had to kind of invent how to play them. So I had to teach myself. I got a guitar part in my head, and I had to teach myself first to play that. And then I had to teach myself, then I had to research and look through endless samples to find the sounds that would work. And I wanted to create something that was human, but at the same time, I got an obsession in my head, and John has been a great supporter on this, that why can't an artist do everything themselves? Because Vincent van Gogh didn't get someone to do the blues and the greens, nor did Picasso get someone. I mean, Damien Hirst, of course, we know as an artist has a whole team of people working with him. And David Hockney does also have some people to bring in some parts of the works. But I wanted to do it all myself, and I thought, coming from an art background, originally being a frustrated painter, and then later a graphic designer and illustrator, I thought, why not go for it? And I thought, if I do anything else in my life, it's worth it. So I used an album. I used two albums before that, one called Voice in My Head and Restless Years, to find out what it was like to be a producer. But then Selfie, I decided to, let's not phone any musicians. Let's just do it. And you know what? It took me 3 years to make that album. But it took me 3 years to make that album. Honestly, almost every day stuck in the studio. I can't tell you the man hours that went into it. But it kind of, it does work. And I'm very proud of it. So I used the same technique when we came to Northern Songs. I thought, it's my 50th anniversary. How about taking my greatest influence and doing a Leo reading on that? So they're very different readings. And so, I mean, Eleanor Rigby's got the Michael Jackson groove from
that's the killer track.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Gene.
Yeah,
I really love.
And Can't Stop Loving You is sorry. And what is it? Can't Buy Me Love is totally slowed down to an almost a jazzy kind of thing. Norwegian Songs is again a jazz 3/4. I just took some liberties. But the amazing thing is, I just played two of those songs in Liverpool at the Liverpool Philharmonic, and the gig was crowded out, absolutely full up. And I got a standing ovation after Eleanor Rigby from a Liverpool audience. It was a mind-blowing moment, because I was thinking.
I think for anybody,
amazing.
we always like to try, as Sven always says, to support the artist. So,
Support the artist.
so here comes an advert. You know, have a listen to Selfie. Have a listen to all the back catalogue. But these two albums that we've just been talking about, the Beatles album, the Northern Songs album in particular, don't expect to hear a version of a Beatles song that you will recognise, and that's the whole thing.
That's it.
Completely different arrangements, almost a completely different song until you hear the lyrics coming through. But I absolutely adore Eleanor Rigby, and I think I told you that.
Thank you.
When we were messaging.
I mean,
it's catchy.
I mean, I could have,
really catchy.
I mean, I could have done them straight and done them exactly, but everybody does that. You know, it almost becomes karaoke when the Beatles. What's the point? You know, because and do you know what? I got inspired when I watched the Beatles movie, the recent one. You know, Let It Be. Get Back. Sorry, Get Back. Which showed them so much experimenting in the studio and throwing things at each other. And that kind of, you know, in a way inspired me to, you know, take these songs as a template and be free with them. Maybe you can bring out some more meanings in the lyrics and kind of the whole thing. You know, why can't they be? I mean, Girl can be like Prince, you know, and you can do these things with them, and I don't think you destroy them. You just make them be read in a different way. You know,
you've done an amazing job on this on the songs. And I tell you what, Get Back is my Beatles favorite song, and
thank you.
It's also my favorite on your Northern Lights album, which is amazing. So for all the people out there, a little advert here. So go to www.leosayer.com and find out a bit more about Leo, his massive back catalogue. Of course, people know you. People know your voice. They recognize your voice. But it's always good to point this out to the people, you know.
There's a lot of contrast in the songs as well, because I never wanted to make the same album twice. So, and Russ knows this as well. I mean, you know, the first thing that we both talked about when we went into another year, I said, Russ, I want this album to be different. And he said, yeah, nothing like Just a Boy. And I said, correct. Yeah. And he said, great, let's go for it. So we were stretching the envelope to get something new, you know, all the time. And I've always tried to do that. I suppose it's being a Gemini as well, a Taurus Gemini on the cusp. Just like Bob Dylan, I change my mind every moment. And
which is a good thing.
Before we leave the adverts, is there any way of fans listening to this, your fans or fans of Russ and Argent and all those, where with any merchandising that you have, if they want to buy any stuff of yours, like T-shirts or anything like? Do you have any?
We obviously sell them when we go on tour, but we do have we're just refitting the shop at the moment, and it's on leosayer.com.
Okay.
And we are just adding in a few more items. Like we've got a lovely T-shirt from that tour, and you know, we've just got some really nice pieces. But there's a poster as well. I think it's really nice to do things at the point of sale. You know, when you're doing a tour and you bring a lot of items, the fans always get surprised by, oh, look, I can get this. We do tea towels and stuff like that, you know, with all the lyrics of the songs and all the song titles and things like that. And we do mugs and teacups and teapots and everything. You make me feel like brewing, you know, stuff like that. Brilliant. It's quite funny.
Okay, there you go. Look out for that.
So for the moment, we say go and see Leo and his band live on stage. So this is a good chance for you to grab some merch or watch this space. And this space is leosayer.com.
And we're off to America next year, which is going to be exciting as well.
So to the States, that will be
off to the States. That's the next project, you know, to really get back over there.
Going off to somewhere, that is a good buzzword for the moment for Ian and me.
Absolutely.
We do have some fun questions.
Yeah.
Sure. Go for it.
We apologize.
All our guests have had.
We apologize for being naughty now.
Go for it.
We sent you off to a desert island.
Right.
So, only you. And the only thing we allow you to take with you is one single.
Ooh.
Which would be the single you would take with you?
It probably is a surprise. It'd be a surprise to me. I almost said Bob Dylan, Hey Mr. Tambourine Man, because it's always been an iconic thing. But I think I'm going to go to a record that just kills me every time. It's A Man's World by James Brown.
Wow.
Okay.
This is a man's world. This is a man's world.
Good track.
And that's, to me, one of the
That's a great
greatest singers
one.
of all time, and such an emotion and such a powerful, powerful piece of passion. Yeah.
Okay. Well, as you've been such a wonderful guest and a nice bloke too, we're gonna allow you to stay on the desert island, but we're going to give you some more tracks.
Right.
We're going to give you a chance to have an album now. So this will be an album that you have, but only one album of all time that sits nicely with you on that desert island. What would that be?
Okay. Ooh, so many choices when I go back into my mind. I think I'll pick the freewheeling Bob Dylan, the second album that Bob did.
How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many seas must the white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
So here comes the last question. Sven, do you want to do the last question?
Well, after being naughty, we want to be as nice and polite with you as we can. So we take you back from the desert island back to the real life. And well, yeah, that's a surprise. We do a surprise dinner party for you, and you can choose 4 guests. Who would be the 4 guests at your dinner party? It doesn't matter if they are alive or already dead. If you do have a chance to have a dinner party with 4 special guests you want to sit with on one table, who would it be?
Very interesting. I think I would choose, Bob Dylan I'd love to sit down with. He probably would be a cantankerous and difficult dinner guest, but it wouldn't matter. I would want to ask him some questions about my favorite songs, and he was always the greatest influence for me. And I think that would be number 1. Number 2 is going to surprise you, but it's someone I met and was very impressed with, and someone that is in a difficult situation at the moment, and someone who really is, I think, one of the greatest humans on the planet. And it's Julian Assange.
Right.
Okay. You can learn a lot of him.
And
yeah,
a very interesting guy. And don't believe everything you've read. And I know the guy, and I've been a big supporter of his. I even wrote a song on Restless Years, which is on there, about Julian, called The Wrong Man.
Okay.
But he's a good choice. And he'd be very interesting, because I'd love to know the real story about how he was, WikiLeaks and all of that. It's an amazing story. I really like Greta Thunberg. Oh, please. I adore her. I think she's one of the most powerful people I've ever met or ever heard of. So she would be a good choice, I think.
Okay.
So that's 3.
Yeah.
And one more.
And I've got to choose one more.
Yeah. One more.
Ooh. There's a lot of dead people I can think of, unfortunately.
They can be alive. They can be alive or dead.
They can be alive for the dinner.
They can be alive or dead. Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. I think I would pick John Lennon.
Imagine how good that would be.
A great connection. And I think all of those people, along with myself, have what we could call a social conscience.
Mhm.
So in other words, we're all people that support all ends of humanity and the equality of humanity. And I think that would be, for me, the most inspiring and greatest conversation, is to talk about the possibilities of, of humanity going forward. We could make a plan for the world, maybe.
That would be.
And
That's an amazing bunch
a lot of those
people.
people have been tested, and it is an interesting collection of people,
That's
And
a
as
great
extra
John-
guest,
Yeah, John could tell us also, John Lennon could tell us about, being shot and then coming back and what he would want to do for the world with that great conscience that he's got. It'd be fascinating.
It would be.
And it would be even more fascinating if we give you as extra guest Russ Ballard.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Russell would fit into this bunch of people perfectly.
Yeah, definitely.
He's really good in having complex conversations, deep conversations.
Yeah. Well, the job that Russ and I both do, is called communication. It's not just music, it's communication. It's about what we do in music and the arts of music is we cross barriers. A song talks to a person who isn't necessarily totally into that song, but it crosses a barrier to send a message, to say what I'm feeling to another person who could be wanting to say that exact same thing, but doesn't have a voice to do it. And that's the beauty of music. It opens up those channels. So I think that conversation and music go together so well. And it's a lovely idea. I'm going to dream about that dinner
music
party.
Music can touch a nerve. That's it.
Sure.
That's really
and open up the world and bring, just like the Beatles always said, and bring peace and love when it's required. And look at how difficult the world is now because there's so much lies and hatred going around. We've got to defeat that.
Yeah.
Well,
we do.
Leo, it's been an absolute privilege and a pleasure.
It's been a joy with talking to you guys. I knew it would be a long one.
Yeah, well, apologies for that, but I hope for the right reasons.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
So we must let you.
You can split it into as many episodes as you like.
Going to do that. But listen, thanks very much indeed.
A pleasure. Thank you so much, guys. Let's stay in touch.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah.
We will. And you've done the Muppet Show, you've done your own shows, you've done Cannon and Ball, you've won Grammy. Now you've been on the Voices of Russ Ballard too. How about that?
Exactly. So I've finally hit the top. Yay!
No, there we are. Look.
No, it's been a great pleasure. Yeah, fantastic. So, I'll get a T-shirt from you.
Yeah, we should do that. But, so for the moment, it's a big thank you to Leo Sayer, and it's a goodbye from me, Ian.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
And from me, Sven.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Sven.
Hi, this is Russ Ballard, and you're listening to the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast.